just makes you want to play harder. So great group of guys, and I can't wait to go into SEC play.
Coach Hope said it was important for you to hit those shots in this building. Do you feel that may be something you can build off of getting the fans behind you and kind of breaking a cold streak in this building?
Yeah, having a crowd into it definitely plays a part. You know, the energy that they have makes us play a little harder. You know, playing at home, every team is going to want to play to their hardest in front of their fans. So having a supporting group like that makes our job way easier.
Did you know it was eventually come, or did
What, like this game?
The shot, or was there a point where you're like, man, it's just abandoned me for a little while?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say abandoned. I'd just say it's really just my preparation to the game. So I kind of rushing my shot a little bit, thinking that the defender was closer than what he was. But we had to get back to my fundamentals, my base. Found it through hard work before the game and showed tonight. So.
You said the other day that Jalen Lowe mentioned to you, hey, don't take a dribble. Just catch that thing and shoot it. From what I can remember on all 8 shots today, I don't think you took a dribble before you shot. How much is that helping you to have those recommendations from your point guard, but also just following through with that?
I mean, he knows the game better than a lot of players that I know or that I've played on the same team with. So taking advice like that, he was the best player in this conference previous years, best point guard in this conference. He averaged 18, all these accolades that he has. He really understands the game of basketball. So you can take advice from everybody, and that's what I was willing to do, and it worked. So.
You all in non-conference play on a 4-game win streak. You got the break before you go to Bama. But what is this momentum going into break, ending on a high note, beating Indiana, St. John's, and getting this 4th win? What does it do for y'all?
It means a lot to us. Every team likes winning. So having those wins kind of stack up before the break feels great. But it's all in the past now, and we have a big team coming up beginning of January. So we have to come back after break, put the work in, and get ready for a win.
Coach Boak talked about people defining their roles. And last game you hit a few shots. Tonight you had the night you had. But he also said after last game, he said Cam holds one of the highest defensive efficiency ratings in the country. Do you feel like you're really starting to live in your role for this team right now?
Yeah, you can say that. I say the role that I was brought here to do, feel like I'm trying to get better at it any chance that I get. I'm not a perfect player, so I'm going to make mistakes here and there. But having a staff and a team and a crowd that still supports you for thick and thin makes me, play my hardest every chance I get.
You talked a bit about it. You went 8 for 10 for 3 tonight, the highest shooting percentage for UK player, tying Jamal Murray in a game. Did it just feel like it wasn't going to miss tonight for a while, or did it just like at one point you were just like, I got to check this one out, but you got it?
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna miss a single shot today. After that first one, I was like, yeah, I got it, and I knew I wasn't gonna miss too many more, so I just kind of wait. That's crazy, but wait for my teammates. All right, bro. Anyways, we're just waiting on them. They like I said, they still confidence in me at all times. Keep telling me to shoot for everything, so we're gonna keep doing that.
For those of us that have never been in a zone like that, what is that like when you kind of get into that zone?
It feels great. You feel like you can do anything. You can shoot from anywhere, do any move you want, even things you probably don't work on. It's like they call it flow state. It's what most people say.
When you talked about earlier settling into your role, what exactly was that role that they wanted you to come in and play? Can you define that specifically?
I can say shoot threes and play defense. You can really say play basketball. At the end of the day, it's basketball. No matter what conference it is, every player, every team, they're still Division I basketball players, and they still understand the game to a high level. So really just come out there and play basketball.
What kind of grade would you give this team so far this season? What
What's
kind of grade?
I give us an A+. Feel like we one of the best teams in the country. We work hard every day in practice, and I can see our potential each game that we play.
How much more dangerous can this team be if the scout, they have to honor all of you shooting threes like you and Denzel and everybody?
I feel like they have to have a heavy scout, because if you space out to shooters in the corner, that gives us driving lanes, rotating Jayla, so then get to the goal, make plays, because they're great players. They understand the game. And having JQ down there too, you don't want to leave him because you want to get dunked on. So when we're at our 100% healthy team, I feel like we're the most dangerous. So we just got to go out there and prove it.
Other than getting to play against a lot of zone today, what were you guys doing to get so many open threes?
We're just moving the ball, making plays for our teammates is one of our keys that we have before a game. So get to the paint, play out two, hit open man, stuff like that. So we're just stating ourselves and did everything we needed to do to get the win.
What was different about that maybe today than some previous games? It just seemed like they were a lot more open, really throughout the night, all over the court.
We just moved the ball probably a little more than I guess we normally do. Got out in transition more, capitalized on their shots, got the defensive rebound, ran the transition. So really just stayed to the game plan. We knew they were going to run a zone, so we ran our plays, got open guys, and made the shots.
Were you surprised at all that they kept leaving you open basically on the same spot in the court?
Nah, I mean, that was the zone that they were designed to play. So I just kind of went behind the defense. They didn't know where I was and just kept shooting the open ones.
Other head coach Jones, he said he was going to dare you guys to shoot. He said that this was, in a joking way, this was his Christmas gift to you. You're ready for him. Do you feel the Christmas spirit after today's game?
Nah, I want to thank him, I guess. I feel like they're a great team. They were killing us on those when they get in the paint, those little B cuts is what we call it. They were killing us with those, so it was something that we weren't really used to. But it really is going to prepare us for later in the season if we see something like that again, so we can work on it in practice.
How big
Speaking
is
of
the
Christmas
next?
gifts, what are you hoping to see under the tree?
Hopefully some shoes, man. So some shoes, some clothes, some cologne, stuff like that. Really some essentials.
Are you going home?
Yeah, I'm going home today.
Once you guys get back, you got some practice, extended practice before the SEC. How important will that little stretch be?
It's going to be very important. We got a big game. First team play Bellarmine at their place. Any away game is an advantage to the home team. So we just got to come back, put the work in, get ready for that, that great team and rest of SEC play.
How excited are you for those 18 SEC games? I know this is something that you've been looking forward to since you got here.
Very exciting. It's always exciting to play basketball. Every game we play, it's going to take advantage of it because it's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. So really just having the best chance we have to play basketball every day. Just got to keep taking advantage of it.
What have you learned from this non-conference schedule that you're going to take into the SEC play?
I would say the physicality. They say that this is the most physical conference of all of basketball. So it was a learning thing at first. So I'm glad that we got that out of the way in non-conference so we can carry it over to conference play.
People talk a lot about your offense, but you're a pretty good defender. How much pride do you take on that side of the ball as well?
I really take a lot of pride because, if you're a shooter, quote unquote, and you're not making shots, you got to find other ways to affect the game. So I try to affect the game in steals, deflections, blocks, rebounds, stuff like that. So we're just playing the hardest I can, kind of the same way I've been playing when I was younger, stuff like that. So we'll keep it going.
Made a decision today to play without Jalen Lowe, kind of resting on a little bit for this game. Jasper Johnson, 7 assists. What did you like when you saw him how he made shots?
Jasper's a great player. Once again, he's another point guard that understands the game. He really got to the paint, played off two, found the shooters and the big man in the open area. So having guards like that understand the game and are willing to sacrifice their stats to make others better, it just shows that they're great people and great players.
They're in the right spots and build from there.
With Jalen recovering from the shoulder and just kind of being a fluid situation, what kind of opportunity, of course you guys want him out there, but what kind of opportunity does it present for guys like you, Denzel, other guys to have some minutes available at that position?
Yeah, Coach Pope is always telling me to stay ready, so I'm always in the gym working on my craft. But I know if he goes down, I'm the next man up. So I'm just always staying ready, and he's talking to me, and I'm talking to him. So he's being a great leader.
How are you focusing to grow in that way? Because maybe you've played in the past on ball and off ball, but it's a different game, especially going into SEC play. What are some of the points that Coach has you focusing on? Because you're really fluid out there and helping facilitate the offense today.
Always be decisive. When we have our meetings, he's always telling me to be decisive. He thinks I'm one of the best playmaker guys on the team, so getting out there and trying to make plays for teammates is something that I do.
How do you pick and choose your spots when to go for assists?
I turnover though, but
7-1 is 7-4.
You're right. I'm good from that. Yeah, MP4C.
How do you pick and choose your spots when to facilitate for your teammates and get 7 assists versus when it's time to get your game off as a scorer?
Always going to go to what's working. So if I have a driving lane and I kick and it works, I'm gonna keep going to that until they stop it. And when they do, I'll change to scoring. So always, just reading the game, slowing down, playing off 2 feet with my pace. It can help me think, in fast moments and make the best decision.
How long does it take for you to get settled in and kind of start getting to your spots and getting comfortable out there?
I feel like I'm always comfortable out there. Just knowing like when to pick my spots, stuff like that is something that I've been learning. Watching more film, this has been helping me. Coach Hart and Coach Fear have been, telling me things and showing me what to do. So they've been helping me as well.
Jasper, do you think of yourself as a point guard?
Yeah, I think of myself as a point guard, a combo guard. I can play 1 or 2 on or off the ball. Whatever my coach needs from me, I feel like I can go out there and do it.
What's been the hardest part of your adjustment to college basketball? You've got a semester in now. What would you say has been the toughest part?
The hardest part for me is, kind of sometimes in the games where I really don't play that much. Always trying to stay ready. I know this. That the game of basketball has something in him for me, so always trying to stay positive, and still working even when I'm not getting minutes. I always gotta be a benefit to the team. Don't have bad energy. Be a good teammate. It's something that I've been working.
What's the transition in terms of the physicality?
Yeah, it's been good. The physical side of it. I've been trying to get in the weight room a lot more with Coach Randy. Building up my frame, because I know this is not the last time that my body is going to be something that maybe puts me at a disadvantage at times. But just trying to work that in with my foot speed and stuff like that.
You talked about taking pride in making plays for your teammates. How much easier is that when you got a guy like Kam Williams who just can't seem to miss?
Nah, it's really easy. Coach Pope has been talking about it to the team. Kam Williams is a 60% shooter. He was like, I don't know when it'll happen, but it'll happen soon. And the past 2 games for St. John's and just now, you see he's been hitting some big time shots from long range, and it's just a credit to his work that he's been putting in.
How much more comfortable are you getting in that point guard role?
I'm really comfortable with it. I've been getting reps at point guard my whole life, and this summer I've been running a lot of reps at it as well. So just doing whatever I can to make plays for my teammates is something that coach wants me to do when I'm at the point guard position.
How do you feel like you guys have done with the non-conference schedule, starting with conference? How do you feel like you've done as a team, and what have you learned about this group?
I feel like we've done pretty good. We're building, we're learning, trying to get guys healthy. It's been something that we've been trying to fix for our team. But all the guys have been working really hard. We've been building, stacking bricks each and every day at practice. So I feel confident with my team for sure.
Speaking of practice, how important are these next 10, 11 days before you have another game?
They're really important. Guys, take a day off tomorrow. Spend time with your family, Christmas, stuff like that. But we got to get back in the gym as soon as it's over, because we got to go on the road in the SEC play, and that's crucial for us. So we got to try to get as many wins as possible.
Alabama was a team that recruited you hard. Is that game going to be special for you?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like every game is special, but that one is special for sure. They were in my top 3. And Coach Oates and I had a good relationship, but happened to be here was a better move for me. I know a couple of their players personally, like LeBaron, who I've played with for many years. So it's definitely been an exciting game.
What's on your Christmas list?
On my Christmas list, I don't really have that much on it, honestly. I just wanted to see my family, spend time with them, like the old days. Christmas with that nostalgic feeling is a gift alone.
What are your plans with your family?
I usually go to my grandparents' house. I'll go to my parents' house first early in the morning. We read our little scripture, and you do what we do. And then I'll go to Harrodsburg and see the rest of my family down there for a couple of hours. And I'll probably get in the gym too later that night, but nothing crazy.
Are you going to be getting them Christmas gifts this time around? Do you take pride in that this time around?
It's definitely been a changing point as I've gotten older. My brother's like, Jasper, you get into that age where you got to start giving gifts as well. So I've had some things stored from my parents and my grandparents, and people around me with some gifts. So it's exciting.
What's the best Christmas gift you've ever got?
Best Christmas gift I've The best Christmas gift I've ever gotten. I think it was a 4-wheeler. When I was a little kid, my dad got me a 4-wheeler for Christmas, but I didn't have it too long because I ended up crashing it when he let me drive it, and he just got scared. So, but nah, definitely 4-wheeler.
How contagious is shot making when Kam is hitting shots? How much does it kind of bleed in everywhere else on the floor?
It bleeds in everywhere. I mean, Kam is a threat from anywhere from 30 feet in, and you know the spacing when you have to guard him, it gives easy driving lanes and ways to create for others in a different way. So it's good.
That's awesome.
Have you guys been waiting for kind of that breakthrough shooting performance where people kind of discounting your all's ability from three? Have you been waiting for just kind of that breakthrough moment to kind of prove everybody wrong?
Yeah, definitely. I know we got a great group of guys who can all shoot the ball at a high level. You know, in practice, we're really competitive, but, you know, sometimes it's just the shot-making ability of our guys is just better than the defense that you can go out and put on them. So we know it's a matter of time before shots start falling, and they're starting to pick up now, so it's a good sign.
Just how hard is it to wait your turn and, you know, waiting for those opportunities to go out there and prove yourself?
Yeah, no, it's really hard. I mean, I've never really been in this position before where I haven't got the minutes that I wanted, but I'm working. I know when my opportunity comes, I have to be ready. I have to keep my game sharp, keep working, keep getting better, and keep growing in every aspect that I can. I know defense is a big side of reasoning of my playing time, so I got to get better at that. I can't be mad at nobody but myself.
What specifically defensively, what area do you feel like you need to make the biggest improvement?
My physicality. I mean, catching a move with my foot speed, something that I've been working on. Trying to play more one-on-one games and get more reps at it. Just guarding the ball with different guys on the team and stuff like that. They've been helping me out with the game tonight. I think I played pretty good defense. Always can improve. But just doing stuff like that, playing more ones and guarding the ball.
When you get to college, how much more sophisticated is the pick and roll game, and how hard is that to guard?
Yeah, it's a lot harder. You know, got to know with your tags and stuff like that, and hitting the roll, man, and being at the point of the screen. It's a lot of stuff that goes into it that I didn't know until I got here, but it's been a learning experience so far.
Did we see the Kam Williams that you guys see every day in practice?
Yeah.
Not just this game, but like the last 2 or 3.
Yeah, Kam's an incredible shooter. Like I said, like there will be times in practice where we'll be competing and, you know, we'll play really good defense, but, you know, the last couple seconds, you know, Kam will or somebody will get the ball and hit a tough threes. But that's something that we know that our guys are capable of doing, and it's a good sign right now that shots are starting to fall.
Winning games and stuff like that. Our defense wasn't where it's supposed to be at this game, but a win is a win, so we're just on to the next game.
How nice will this break be before the SEC starts?
It'll be a good break. First and foremost, I hope everybody here has a happy holidays to everyone's family, people who came out. But it's going to be a good break. But once we get back, we really got to get rolling because it becomes more competition, better teams and stuff like that. SEC, great league, so just got to come back and be ready.
Obviously, a lot of zone today that you guys faced. But speaking of the SEC play, just what did you do today that can maybe translate to getting more of those open threes and good looks from behind the arc?
Things Coach preaches about just making plays with teammates, hitting extra passes. Kam Williams was elite today, and everybody else was elite sharing the ball. And Mo was good elite today. Everybody was doing good today. Just catching, shooting, and being ready to shoot. So I feel like.
Does that start with like one pass leads to another, and maybe it doesn't happen until 4 or 5 passes down the possession, but you got to be patient?
Yes, sir. Just attacking, just knowing when to attack, knowing when to kick out to each other. Everybody was good offensively cutting and stuff like that. We just got to pick it up on defense.
You mentioned the defense. How hard is it on a getaway game, you know, last game before Christmas, to really get down and pay the price defensively?
Yeah, it's really hard, but I mean, we had no excuses. We had to lock in on defense. It was dang near the whole game. We was kept getting scored on or foul calls, so we just got to step that up. And whatever game it is, and whether it's before break or not, we got to be ready to guard.
Not an obvious question, but when you guys are hitting threes like you did today, how much more dangerous does that make this team and make other teams have to honor that?
Very dangerous because we're a good attacking team and we're also a good three-point shooting team. We're getting better each and every day at that. So once our three balls falling, teams scout for that and also attack.
Is there any lag in confidence, like when you have the numbers that you did against the Carolina or some of these other good teams from behind the arc?
No, I know what I do each and every day, putting the work and stuff like that. It's just a matter of me going out there and doing it.
Just as a team, is it guys kind of like all talk?
It's Christmas, man.
How different is the team with JQ there?
Very different. He brings monster energy on the both offensive and defensive end. It's great to see his journey and what he did to get back to the point where he's at right now, and I'm very happy and blessed to be back.
Did this look more like what you've seen in practice from Cam? Coach Pope has been telling us every week, like it's coming.
Most definitely. Cam can probably hit 23s in your face. Today, it's another day for him. I'm glad he hit all them shots because we're definitely going to need an SEC player. He's been a very good player coming in for us. He's going to take off from here.
Do you feel like the break is coming at a good time, or do you feel like you'd rather keep playing right now?
We got a little bit of momentum going besides our defense today, so I wish we could have kept playing right now, but I mean, it's time to go back to our families and enjoy the holidays, so I think we'll be good. But once we get back, we know what we got coming up in front of us, so we just got to have serious.
Speaking of the holidays, can I ask you a silly question? What's on your Christmas list?
I'm going back home to my mom and my dog that I haven't seen in months, and it's going to be much warmer where I'm at, so I'm very excited for that.
What you hoping to have under the tree?
I just want to see my family, to be honest with you. I haven't seen them in a minute.
Do you know like the itinerary off the top of your head, like when you're going home, when you got to be back?
I don't off the top of my head, but I'm going back to right now.
You know, like after like tonight,
yes,
you're headed back, but you don't know when like next practice is.
No,
Thanks.
How much of a tune-up was this for conference play?
Very good tune-up. Like I said, just picking up stuff defensively, but it's a good going in, winning 2 games, coming into conference plays, giving us a little bit of confidence, stuff like that. So it's going to be a good tune-up.
So if you had to judge the squad, give it a letter grade for this year, what would you say?
I'll say